Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Just before I start this video, I wanted to kind of give a shout out to a couple of people that really gave some really good feedback on some of these older videos that I put out. If you notice some of these older ones that, I say older, they're all new, but some of the first ones I did have that little banner because I didn't have it in landscape mode. Again, that's really my fault for not proofreading, really, if you will, the videos I put out, but wanted to really thank you for that because that makes the channel better. It's good feedback, and I'm not an expert at this. I'm not an expert video editor, but stuff like that can really help out the channel. So if you guys have any suggestions or even content suggestions, let me know. But without further ado, the kayak that I'm looking at here, so this is the Hobie Pro Angler 12-footer with the 360 drive. So they make two different versions of this boat. They make the 12 and the 14-footer. And they have the 360 drive and the old 180 drive, old reliable, if you will. So this is an Outback here, but this is the 180 drive. So the simple drive with the pull tabs for reverse and for forward, it just flips the fins back and forth. The 360 drive is a little unique because it's got the extra handle here, and you can see the red arrow here. When you turn the handle, it'll show which way the pedals are facing. So forward, backward, side to side, diagonal. You can really kind of do it all with this. Also, the Hobie fins. So if you're familiar with pedal drive kayaks on the market, they have the bicycle style prop circular motion. These are very, very different because instead of your bicycle pedal, this has a really gentle forward and backward motion. That's really good if you got any kind of hip or knee problems. It also just makes you more efficient on the water. I always talk about gas mileage on the water with customers, getting maximum results with minimal effort, and that's kind of what you get with a Hobie. The fins. So the fins here you can see underneath the kayak, they're going to go from side to side with your pedal movement. The way that you get a really good propulsion out of this is these fins flex. And if you imagine swimming, the wings flexing is going to be like treading water, and that's how it kind of gives you that maximum propulsion forward on that. But anyways, starting at the front here, you can see here MSRP on this boat is $5,299. The boat weighs 132 pounds. That's fully rigged up with the drive, the seat, everything you see on it. With the drive and seat removed, you're looking at about 110, 109 pounds there. And you also got a 500-pound max. So that's the max capacity. There's been some videos out there. I know Chad Hoover did one here recently talking about your max capacity ratings on certain kayaks. Very confident on the Hobies because, again, Hobie uses that really thick hull design. You sit up very high in the water. I've been out on these a lot. I can definitely attest that. I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'5", about 270. I carry a lot of gear with me. I've never had any issues with this as far as the performance. And I stand up in these. Again, these are pretty wide as well. But the nice thing, too, about a Hobie is your pedal drive doesn't take up all your deck space. So you can see here it's very minimal, just kind of an overhead shot, the front of the seat to the back end of the hatch storage here. You got a lot of space. You have some padding here. That padding is nice and comfortable, but it's really meant to kind of keep you quiet on the water. If any of you that's grown up fishing with your dad, you get yelled at if you're talking too much. Talking doesn't really go in the water as much as you'd think. But what does is banging on a plastic kayak. It's like beating a drum down there. And that's why you see a lot of these plastic mats on a lot of these fishing kayaks. It's really designed, it's nice for comfort, but it's really designed to keep you quiet. But nice handle, nice comfort grip handle on the front end here. You got these little ridges for your fingers. Again, it's really comfortable. Good for overhand and underhand as well. Nice storage hatch here. It also has this removable tub. The Hobies do come with quite a bit of extra parts. So this is the plug-in cassette. This is designed to go into this if the drive is removed. There's a lot of different reasons for that. If you got a trolling motor on it and you obviously don't need the drive in there, and you don't need the drag from underneath. You can take that out. You can put that, think of it as a big plastic scupper plug. You've also got these little grommets. These are your through-hole wiring kit. If you have any kind of additional electronics. Now, these do come with these through-hole wiring kits as well. You can drill into these and feed your wiring, and it's got this kind of soft rubber to kind of seal it really well. That's basically what this kit here is. So if you got like these little thinner wiring, you want to drill into your hole, but you want to have, it's basically like a little seal washer. I don't call it waterproof, but it's pretty close. It also gives you a really clean look as well. The Pro Angler series does have the in-hole rod tip protectors. So the 12-foot, you can see here, the 12-foot has 2 on each side, so 4 rods total. The 12-foot does have 6, so the 14-foot has 6, so the 14-foot will have 3 on each side. And all the way back here, you've got your rod tower. If any of you watched the video I did on the Jackson Nar, you're going to start to see a lot of similarities here, mainly being this part here and also your rod tip protectors. You know, Hobie doesn't have the copyright on rod tip protectors, but you can see I've got a Jackson Nar video on my channel here. Check that out. But you'll start to see some very, very big similarities on this kayak. Hobie has their own accessory mounting system on the Pro Angler and also on the Outback here, but this is what you've heard them advertise their H-rail system. So it's literally just kind of an angular bar that goes almost the length of the side here. A lot of these accessories will clip on, and you got a little set screw. You can adjust the tension on that, but this will give you your rod stagers, your rod holders, your fish finder display setups, additional cup holders like you see here, a lot of things that can mount on that. And then here on these plates, you can see they've also got a little groove here. This is for your Yak Attack accessories, your T-bolt accessories, also some spot for like your pliers, different tooling that you use during fishing. You got one of those on each side there. Looking at the deck here, you've got a nice little tackle storage area. This is a turnkey. So you open that up. These kind of, they're hinged here on the inside. You can see how those tackle boxes kind of raise up when you open the lid. You got a nice little rubberized pocket here, you know, for soft plastics or anything like that. And this boat comes with 2 Plano boxes with the kayak. Your little pull cords here, this first one on the right side, or left side, I'm sorry, is the kickstand. So the kickstand is this little system here behind the seat. You pull that cord, and that's going to make this come down. It allows you to run the seat at a lower position instead of this elevated one. You've also got down a drop-down skeg. So your skeg is going to be, it's a large fin that's right here underneath the boat. That'll deploy down. That'll really help with tracking if you're out on open water or offshore. That's going to help you keep that straight line without really having to adjust your rudder too much. A little bit more of a hands-free feel, if you will. The other side here, you do have a retractable transducer mount. That is located underneath the kayak through here, this little plate. And then finally, your rudder. So your rudder is retracted up into the hull, which is really nice if you got it on a trailer or in the back of a truck. You can drop that down really easily. These work a lot like window blinds. So you got this little cleat. You pull the cord forward, and then you can let it drop. So right now that rudder has dropped down, but really neat little system there. It's really nice to have on there to, again, this is a heavy kayak, so it allows you to run those rudders and the skegs up in the hull and can protect them, so you don't have the weight of that boat sitting on top of it all the time. Getting to the back here, Hobie does come with paddles. So I'm not going to say they're the greatest paddle on the market, but they are kind of a carbon fiber feel. They're extremely light. So kudos to them on that. It's really good to have that paddle as a backup. If something happens with your drive, you're out on the water, you're not stranded. I usually have them sitting just for display. I've got them sitting on these flush mount rod holders, but really the part that it's meant to be in is you got these little paddle clips that are right here, and they sit down in there. They lock in really nice. You can kind of see it's got a real nice feel to it there. You do have an access hatch here. Hobie does sell round tubs that can kind of fit in some of this stuff, but this one here is really meant to just have access if there's a lot of cabling. You know, as you can tell, this ridge here is where the skeg comes up into. So there's a lot of lines and there's a lot of pulleys inside of it. Sounds like a lot of work to do if something goes wrong, and that can be true depending on what you got going on there. But you take care of it. Again, the worst thing for a kayak and with a rigging like this, your worst enemy is going to be water and sunlight. You know, your bungees kind of wear down, your cordage kind of wears down. I always tell people, if you're going to set this stuff outside, cover it up with a tarp, you know, anything like that. It's going to keep your stuff looking nice, and it's really going to, it's not the heat so much as the direct sunlight that can really do some damage to, you know, your bungees, your cording. I've had all kinds of weird stuff, like they'll have it in a storage shed, and a mouse will come by and chew that cord off at the worst possible spot, and then it'll snap back. But anyway, I'm kind of getting in the woods there. But rear here, removing this, you can actually, there's some adjustments in there as well. That's also removes to do your stern mount trolling motor setup. A lot of companies will sell a plate that comes back here and also utilizes this. You have an additional bar back here, very much like your H-rail. You can mount stuff on back of here. There's different accessories that you can get on that. But that's it in a nutshell. Again, there's a lot of other stuff here. The seat, I'm sorry. So the seat here, kind of unique. So the handles, you can twist it, and you can see the seat back comes forward, and you can have it go backward as well. Your twist here will adjust the seat bottom up and down. And then also you've got a tensioner. So you can tighten this and loosen this. That will adjust the tension on the seat back. So there's a lot of adjustments on there. And also the same thing with here. You can adjust your rudder tension just with a little knob there. So that's what I tell people, when you're looking at a kayak that's $5,000 like this one, there's a lot of engineering that goes into this. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of, you know, they don't just throw plastic in a mold and just say, okay, let's spit this thing out. There's a lot of thought, a lot of engineering, and a lot of detail that kind of accentuates the performance of something like this. And I'm just going to tell you, you know, it's made to pedal. So the paddles come with it. You got to paddle it if something happens. But if you're looking at this just to use a paddle and get around in, you're going to hate life. So it is a bit of a battleship, but it's meant to just kind of, it's the backup. It's your backup propulsion if something were to happen or malfunction with your drive. But that's it. I'll do some other videos on some of these other Hobie kayaks and release them out here. I've got the Outback here. I've got a Compass. New for this year. So Hobie in the previous years have done the Passport. Passport's kind of a little two-piece kayak. It's kind of their entry level. Well, now they've released the Passport, and this is the Passport R. So R stands for rotomold. So they have a rotomolded version of the Passport. The price is not very different, but you get a little bit more of a sturdy kayak. So I'll do a video on those as well. But if you have any questions, anything I didn't cover that you think of, or any suggestions for the channel, let me know in the comments. But as always, thanks for liking and subscribing, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.